Hello, Virgo. Uh, Thank you for being here. Sleeplessness erases boundaries between memory and imagination. 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5. Hours bleeding into each other while your mind replays scenes, rewrites endings, rehearses conversations that will never happen with people who aren't listening anyway. And somewhere in that exhausted delirium, you start believing the stories you're telling yourself. Start confusing the narrative you've constructed with reality, which is where we are now, apparently. In some fever dream of confession and promise, fault and redemption, words and hearts offered up like their currency that buys forgiveness. But whose confession is this really? Whose fault? Whose words and heart? Because that title, I haven't slept in days, this was all my fault, you got my word and my heart, now it's written in first person. Someone's voice, someone's perspective. Someone's claimed ownership of sleeplessness, blame, offering, except it's not addressed to you specifically. It's broadcast, generic, a message to everyone that pretends to be a message to someone. And you're here reading it, wondering if it's about you, if someone's losing sleep over you, if someone's finally taking responsibility for whatever happened between you. But they're not. Nobody's confessing to you right now. Nobody's offering you their word or heart. You're just consuming content. Watching someone perform contrition, observing a theatrical display of regret that has nothing to do with your actual life. Yet something in you wants it to be real, wants someone to be sleepless, wants someone to claim fault, wants someone to offer amends. Why? Ribs feel like they're squeezing around something that wants to expand. Haven't slept in days. That's suffering. That's proof of impact. That's evidence that whatever happened mattered enough to disrupt basic biological function. And there's something seductive about that, isn't there? The idea that you affect someone so profoundly they can't rest, that your absence or your anger or your distance creates insomnia in someone else. It validates, it confirms, it proves you matter, you're remembered, you're important enough to haunt someone's nights. But here's what's curious. If someone genuinely hasn't slept in days, if they're truly that affected, that disrupted, that consumed by regret, would they be making content about it? Would they be broadcasting their sleeplessness? Would they be performing their suffering for an audience? Or would they be too exhausted, too raw, too focused on actually addressing what caused the insomnia to package it into a reading, a title, a message designed to generate clicks and engagement? Because sleeplessness, this profound, this consuming, it doesn't have energy for performance. It barely has energy for survival. It certainly doesn't have energy for creating content that promises resolution to strangers on the internet. So maybe the sleeplessness is real, but not about what the title claims. Maybe the fault exists, but isn't being examined honestly. Maybe the words and heart being offered, they're not actually on the table. They're just said, performed, displayed as proof of transformation without the actual transformation having occurred. Throat constricting, like it's trying to prevent words I don't want to release. This was all my fault. Total ownership, complete responsibility, the kind of accountability everyone claims they want until they actually have to embody it, until they actually have to sit with what it means to be fully, solely, entirely responsible for harm caused. But fault is tricky. Fault implies causation. implies that one person's actions created an outcome independent of context, of history, of the other person's participation, because they make amends privately instead of performing contrition from. You heal regardless. You find peace regardless. Not because what they did doesn't matter, because what you do now matters more. Because you can't control whether they ever take responsibility, but you can control whether you keep your life on hold waiting for them to. And if they do show up, if they do take responsibility, if they do offer genuine amends, great. Receive that, consider it, decide whether you want to engage with it. But from a place of already moving forward, already healing, already building your life, not from a place of having waited for it, having needed it, having made it the condition of your own growth. Because your growth can't be conditional on someone else's. Your healing can't require someone else's confession. Your peace can't depend on someone else's sleeplessness proving you mattered enough to haunt. You matter regardless. You heal regardless. You move forward regardless. And that's the real power. Not in receiving someone's word and heart, but in knowing you're whole without them. Chest expanding like something that was compressed finally has room to breathe. Truth isn't found in other stories, it's discovered in your own silence. No predictions, just presence. Stay curious, stay awake.